to have.
Yes, Master.
Hey guys, welcome back. I know my table here is an absolute disaster because of all the work I did on Darth Vader's costume, but it's going to get a little more messed up before the costume's finished, so please pardon my dust. Now this is not going to be in any particular order, but today I'm going to be talking about 10 odd aliens in Star Wars. Now these made the list because they either have weird or extremely violent habits, they are unusual, something that you'd never see on Earth, or they're just plain ugly. So, before I proceed, of course, I'm going to mention that this list is made up of not only the saga films, but also the anthology films, and the TV movies, the Ewok series, because there were some pretty weird animals in there too. So starting off the list with number 10 is the Geonosians. They're major players in the story of episode 2 because of course it's their planet that they land on, and they also show up quite a bit in the Clone Wars. The reason they make this list is because they are essentially termites, and they're like bugs, and they're just ew. That's something I would not want to meet. My first impulse when I meet something that looks like a bug is to squish it. Maybe that makes me a cold-hearted person, but what can I say? I don't like bugs. Number 9 on the list is the Hutts. Now, let's face it, the Hutts are gross. They are like mobile tubs of lard, and they are greedy and mean, and they're like sadists. They take pleasure in other people's pain, and they're ruthless. And another weird thing about them is, let's just say they have the same reproductive habits as snails and slugs. If you want to know what that means, Google it. I'm not going to get into it, but it's just, whoo, it's just weird. Number 8 on the list are the Weequay. You may remember them from episode 6. They showed up on Jabba's sail barge, specifically the skiff on which Luke was essentially forced to walk the plank into the Sarlacc. And they make this list because they're quite a major player in the Star Wars universe, and they've got this leathery skin and often these dreadlocks that hang down. And Weequay, I'm sure there must be a good Weequay out there somewhere, but most of the Weequay that we've seen have been dishonest. They've been pirates or falling in with a bad lot. I would love to see a Weequay that's actually a good guy for once. Number 7 on the list are Clawdites, also known as changelings. These also showed up in episode 2, specifically in the form of Zam Wessel the Bounty Hunter. Now, these make the list because they can shift into the shape of anything else. This was proved to be fairly dangerous when, in Season 2 of the Clone Wars, where the shapeshifter made his or her way into the Jedi Temple. So, yeah, the fact that they can take on any form makes them potentially dangerous. Number 6 on the list is the Sarlacc. The Sarlacc, of course, is the giant sand creature that lives in a burrow out in the Dune Sea on Tatooine, and that we see in episode 6. Now, the reason the Sarlacc made this list is not only does it have all these tentacles reaching out, and depending on which version you watch, either this big old gullet or a great big mouth that comes up and grabs things, it's got the slowest digestion system, I think, of any creature in the galaxy. 1,000 years? Yikes. Anything in there would basically die long before the Sarlacc is through digesting it. So it must have a stomach the size of a football field. Either that or it doesn't eat very often, but ugh, that's just nasty. Coming in at number 5 on the list is the Kaleesh. Now, the only Kaleesh we see in the movies of Star Wars is what's left of a Kaleeshi warrior, that is General Grievous. Before he became a cyborg, he was a very proud Kaleesh warrior, and apparently they are a very warlike society, extremely violent, which explains where Grievous gets his tendencies from, and that's definitely a species I wouldn't want to meet. Are they going to fight me? Are they going to try and trick me? Are they going to try and wipe me out? I have no clue what to expect from them. Number 4 on the list is the Rancor. Now, the Rancor, I'm still uncertain as to what's canon, but in the old expanded universe, they were native to Dathomir, and the women, sort of like Amazons, would ride them, would tame them and ride them. But the Rancor makes the list because, let's face it, these suckers are ugly. They've got this, like, slimy skin and a whole bunch of warts, these beady little eyes, big teeth, big claws. I mean, even if there was such a thing as a nice Rancor, that's definitely not an animal I would ever want to meet. Yuck. And I definitely wouldn't want to meet them because they're big enough to eat me. Yikes! Number 3 on the list is the only creature I'm going to mention from the Ewok movies, and that is the Gorax. The Gorax is an ugly, creepy, giant creature that apparently likes to steal away Ewoks and either keep them for pets or eat them. Even if it doesn't eat them, apparently he has the unfortunate habit of stepping on them. So, not a pleasant creature to be around. I'm sure when children saw that in the 80s, they were either leaning forward with glee or hiding their eyes in terror. I know if I saw that thing when I was a kid, I probably would have run away screaming. Number 2 on the list are the Rathtars from episode 7. I know a lot of people were complaining about the Rathtars, like they said, oh, they don't belong in there, or oh no, another CG character, like they're complaining about it just because it's CG or something silly like that. But these are some of the ugliest creatures I have ever seen in any Star Wars movie. They're essentially giant blobs with a ton of eyes, a ton of tentacles, and a voracious appetite. So I would never, ever want to go anywhere near a Rathtar. Ugh, yuck, ugh. And finally, number 1 on the list of odd aliens from Star Wars is Borgullet. I'm not sure whether that's his species or his name, but it should have made the list for most disgusting moments in Star Wars. Unfortunately, I forgot about it. He's just a giant blob, apparently blind, with these tentacles that, let's face it, are sort of an odd shape. Between the color and the shape and the fact that they are crawling all over Bodhi Rook, that is one of the most uncomfortable moments in Star Wars. I cannot watch that sequence without cringing and kind of going, ooh, yuck, ugh. So yeah, Borgullet tops the list of the weirdest, ugliest, most disgusting creature in Star Wars. So there you have it, guys. That's been the Clumsy Jedi's countdown of 10 weird creatures in Star Wars. I hope you enjoyed this list. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing after this because I'm running out of top 10 lists unless I start delving into specifically Rebels and the Clone Wars. And since they've got so many episodes, that will probably take me a few years to get through. So you've got that to look forward to if you like either one. But that's all for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video and want to see more like them, go ahead and click that little subscription button down below. Question of the day: what is the one weird, unusual, or just plain ugly alien from Star Wars you would never ever want to meet? Go ahead and post a comment below. So, I need to get to repair work on Darth Vader. I don't know how long that'll take me, but after that's done, I do want to do some painting on R2-D2. And I'll give you an update on him at the end of the week after this whole Empire Strikes Back thing is finished. So, until next time, this is the Clumsy Jedi signing off. Bye, guys!